up? It's Darryl Drake here, Global Director. I'm just on 10 right now. For those of you guys that know, last Saturday we had an event here. Coach flew in. We had about 65 people attend a very intimate training. And I tell you, ask anybody that attended that event, they'll tell you their business, their life will never be the same, because I was able to go over a few things. Coach was able to go over a few things that I believe, if applied correctly, can change the complete trajectory of somebody's life. So tonight's training is not going to be about total life changes. However, if applied properly, these steps can change not only your, total life changes business, but just life in general for you. I got started in this industry in, I want to say roughly 2008. Am I still going on live? Mm-hmm. Roughly 2008. And, I actually just got started in this industry to make an extra $500 a week. Literally, I got introduced by a guy who basically was making around $15,000 a month. And I said, listen, even if half of what you're saying is true, I want to be a part of it, right? 10 years ago, I was, definitely overworked, underpaid. My car was in repossession status. I was, going to college, but it just was not cutting. I was not happy. And I was learning from professors that did not have what I wanted to have. And so at that moment, when I got introduced to Total Life Changes, really the industry, I realized that, once you experience this type of income, once you experience this type of lifestyle, you really never want to go back from there. But, fast forward, I realized I had these big goals and these big dreams. I wanted to make all this money, but I didn't understand that there were some things that needed to take place. There were some things that needed to take place in order for me to be worthy of being the person that could attract all those things that I wanted. And so for those of you guys that are taking notes, I just want you to understand that I don't want you to learn necessarily just as a student, right? This is a training call. It's not an opportunity call. It's not going to be, let me give it to you straight, raw, and uncut, because I want you to get off of this live or off of this call or off of that phone, right? And really be able to take this information and apply it instantly into your life. And I guarantee you, if applied consistently, this information could change the rest of your life, because these are the 4 steps that I believe, I know without a shadow of a doubt, because I applied these 4 steps consistently over the last, let's just say 10 years of my business life, it has taken me to an entirely new level. So, it's so funny because about a week ago, I kept just really not being able to sleep, because I knew I had the Saturday event coming up, the Vibe Tribe, Southern California workshop, and I wanted to be able to really pour in to every single person at that event. And so I started to think, different ways that I can deliver a message, because how many of you guys know that, it's not necessarily what a person is saying, it's how that audience perceives what they're hearing. And so I wanted to be able to master communicating to every single person exactly what I did to help in every area of my life. And so what I came to mind with at around 2:30 in the morning upstairs in my loft, trying to figure out how I can deliver this message, I came up with the Wheel of Fortune. And I have it spelled W-I-L-L. That's intentionally. I understand that you don't have to be extremely smart in this industry to make money, but this was definitely intentional. And this is why I did it, because I wanted, W-I-L-L for me, it was my willingness, right? My willingness to apply these 4 steps consistently. So for me, I wanted it to be spelled W-I-L-L, Wheel of Fortune. And I spelled fortune, F-O-U-R, T-U-N-E, and I'm very aware that that is not how you spell fortune. But for this training, we're going to do it exactly how I want to do it, because when you are up here training, you could do it however you want to do it. But for me, I put fortune because, again, this is a play to 4 easy steps that, if applied right, can change your life. So the first step, yeah, I need that one. The first step to all of this right? As I started to think back, I started to think back at me at 18. I started to think back at me at 19. What was I doing at that time, right? And when I made that decision that, you know what, I wanted to be financially free. Yes, I had a goal to make an extra $500 a week or $500 a month, but that was just the goal made for me to be able to get out of the current situation. But really what I was asking the universe for was financial freedom. And I know, we have a lot of people between this Facebook Live and this Instagram, and then we have a couple people on the call. Everyone is in TLC for different things, right? We're all striving to do different things to become better. And I believe there's principles that have to be applied that support you actually accomplishing those things, right? You definitely need to be in alignment. And so the first thing that I realized at around 2:30 in the morning, as I was going over all of this, it was like I was able to change the way that I was choosing to feel, right? A lot of times, we get up and the environment that we're in, it shifts. Anyone ever call you just completely negative and you're feeling good, you're happy, you're going about your day, and they call you with some drama, with some mess, and they get off the phone perfectly fine, and now you feel like they've just contaminated your whole day with their mess, right? Well, that's because vibes are contagious, right? Energy is never lost, it's merely transferred. And so for me, I was always very mindful of the way that I felt, right? Who are you listening to? As within, so without. So I started realizing that, man, it's important for me to turn off the rap and then maybe tune into some personal development. Let me listen to some Bob Proctor. Let me listen to some Think and Grow Rich. Let me listen to First Year in Network Marketing, right? Because it was my first year in network marketing. And I was horrible. At first, you understand this. In the beginning, you will be really, really bad before you're good. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine, right? But what you control what you can control, right? And I felt that this was important because the better I felt, right, the better I would do. The better I would do, the more results that I would have. So that first part of the wheel for you is going to be being mindful of how you are feeling on a daily basis. And then we're in a health and wellness company, guys, right? What are you putting into your body? What are you putting into your body? What nutrients, what vitamins, but also, are you going out every night getting drunk? I wasn't doing that. Are you partying every night? When you get up, are you pulled into action because of your excitement? Or every day you get up, are you like, dang, I gotta do this another day, right? So I was always trying to be mindful of what I was allowing in my life, in my mind, because everything that is said to you you have to look at it, everything you experience is almost like a seed, right? And even if you're not consciously accepting that, subconsciously your mind is picking it up. And seed will always find root, right? Seed will always find root. So you have to be mindful. I would be cutting certain conversations off. If it wasn't in alignment with what I wanted to hear or where I was going, I was cutting you off because I just didn't have time to have that type of toxic conversation or toxic environment happening in my life, right? So the first step is feeling, controlling the way that you feel every single morning. Secondly, can you close that for me? Secondly, my willingness to change. My willingness to change. Because I realized that if you ask the average person, do you want to be in shape? Do you want a nicer house, a nicer car? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to find love? In most cases, people will say yes. Who does not want to live at the highest level possible? Who does not want to attract love at a high level? Who does not want to be able to, drive through their neighborhood and be inspired by their neighbors? Who doesn't want to, drive, nice cars? They don't have to be Bentleys or Ferraris. It's a car that's going to be able to successfully get you from point A to point B, and you're not having to worry about the car. Now, who doesn't want to experience the best that life has to offer? But what I realized very early on, that me wanting and me feeling wasn't enough, because no matter how excited you are, no matter how good you feel, if you jump off of a building, you will hit the ground. Some things are just inevitable. So no matter how excited you are, feeling won't be enough, but it's a great start. But you have to be able to have a certain level of willingness to change. When I look back at some of my older pictures, even some of my videos, and I don't know what the heck type of phone I was shooting these videos on, but I went back and I was able to watch some of my older YouTube videos and some of the videos that I actually just had stored on computers. And I realized my willingness to change was at an all-time high between the ages of 18 and 24. I was constantly changing my environment. I was constantly changing the way that I spoke, changing the amount of time that I was spending doing the wrong things. And I think a lot of times we want a bunch of things, but we are not willing to change. You have to understand, your best thinking has you exactly where you are. Your best thinking, the way that you rationalize, the way that you think that you should be a steward over your money, the choices you make with in regards to your eating habits, right? Every single thing that you're experiencing right now is in direct proportion to what you've done, attracted, or allowed. So you have to really take back and look in your mind and say, well, listen, you know, am I really willing to change? Am I really willing to change my environment, my thoughts, right? Am I willing to turn off the music and turn on some personal development? When I look back at some of my original trainings 8 years ago, I realized that, you know, the person that I considered a mentor at that time, I was watching the way that he walked, the way that he talked, the way that he spoke, the way that he would interact with his wife, with his kids, the way that he would interact with his organization. And naturally, we're not born ready. This is something that I spoke and I spent a little bit more time on Saturday talking about this. You know, you're not born ready, right? Success is not an event. Success is a process. Success is something that happens with time, right? And so understanding, like, being intentional and making sure that every single day you're checking and you're taking inventory of what's happening in your life, right? So now, feel, change, and then your willingness to learn. Your willingness to learn. Listen, formal education will make you a living, but this type of education will make you a fortune. Formal education will make you a living. This type of education will make you a fortune. And what I realized early on, well, I'll touch on that a little bit later, but my willingness to learn, it was really a big part of all of this, because what I realized was I was conditioned by my parents, both of them college degree, graduated high school. My mom had me at the age of, I think, 14 or 15 years old, went back, ended up going to college, getting her bachelor's, and so on and so forth. Same with my father. And I realized that they did the best that they could do with me, but that didn't really resonate with me, because their best thinking had them where they are, and I wasn't willing to switch places. So I always tell people, listen, if you're not willing to switch places with a person, whether it's health-wise, whether it's financially, whether it's the way that they interact with their family, don't take advice from people that you're not willing to trade places with. So, with that being said, I began to learn, ladies and gentlemen. I gave you guys some of the books early on. A lot of it wasn't necessarily what was taught, but what was caught, because I was in the right environments. I started to pay attention to, you know, how I was spending my weekends. And I realized as I start looking back, again, it's 2:30 in the morning, right? I got my tea and I'm just reminiscing, just going back, like, how can I give people the me before my first 7 figures, the me before my first 6 figures? What conversation, what self-talk was I having with myself? And I realized on a Saturday, people were turning up, I was learning. People were going on trips. I was learning. I was taking trips too, but I was taking trips to Ada, Oklahoma to go to my corporate event. I was taking trips to Las Vegas, not to gamble, but because that's where our national convention was, right? On a Saturday, I'd be at the beach, but that's because my mentor at the time had a beach house. So we'd be on the beach learning. I'd be on the beach at a bonfire learning from him. So how much time are you spending, on these areas? So far we have feel change. A lot of times we're on autopilot. As soon as we get up, we're not thinking about how we felt. We're not how we feel. We're not thinking about what are we willing to change daily. We're definitely not thinking about what we're learning, because anything over the age of 30, most of us are on autopilot. Most of you guys can drive home without a GPS, right? Some of you guys are just on autopilot. You don't even realize what you're doing. You're getting up, you're brushing your teeth, you're taking a shower, you're talking on the phone, you're dealing with your kids, you're going to work. Everything is a system already. But remember, everything is a habit. It takes 22 days to make or break a habit. So at the end of the day, you just have to make a conscious decision that, you know what? All that I am right now, I only can get myself where I'm at. I'm gonna have to borrow belief and teaching from somebody else that has what I want. So I realized that I spent a lot of hours, thousands of hours just learning. I have so much knowledge up here, and it was just because I was constantly in a place of being a student, right? And the fourth part of this was my willingness to work. My willingness to work. This is network marketing, not net think about it marketing. This is network marketing, meaning you could feel good, you could be changed, right? You could have learned everything that you need to learn, but if you leave any of these out, you will not be able to will yourself into fortune. Let me tell you why. If you don't feel good, guess what you're not gonna do? You're not gonna work. And if you're working without learning, what are you teaching? You're just on the treadmill. All you're doing is teaching more of what wasn't working for you. If you're not changing and evolving, then the times are gonna pass you up. You're not even gonna know what you should be doing because you're not even willing to change. You cannot leave any of this out. Check yourself every single day. Feel, change, learn, work. And so the next part of this I want you to understand is it's so funny. I brought in a lady that I had shared this with, and she's like, okay, I get it. I'm 45 years old. How long do I have to do this? And I thought to myself, we're really the only, and I shared this on Saturday, we're really the only species on the entire planet who limits themselves, right? Could you imagine a tree growing to about 6 feet and saying, that's good enough. I'll just stop here, right? In most cases, a tree is gonna grow as big as it can until it stops growing, right? But we're the only ones that start to self-sabotage. We start to ask questions like, well, how long will it take? How long has it taken you to get to where you are? Are you happy with that? So, while you're practicing this, right? While you're practicing feel, change, learn, work, and I'm gonna give you some things that you could be doing, but understand that this is a process. Again, success, just because, could you imagine going to the gym January 1st, signing up for a membership, and then 30 days later, going back to that same gym and saying, man, that gym thing doesn't work. They say, well, sir, you've never even checked into the gym. That's what most people are doing. They're signing up for TLC. They're signing up for success on a daily basis, but you still got to get to work. You still have to be involved in the process until no one on this planet can tell you how long it's going to take you to get in shape. If you start today, they can say maybe 30 days, 90 days, depending on how you eat, depending on how you work out, depending on your body, what food you're eating, right? No one knows, and it doesn't matter. What if it took you 5 years to reach financial freedom? What if it took you 10 years to reach financial freedom? It seems like it was just yesterday. I was 18 years old, hoping that I could get to a 6-figure income. Now, multiple 7 figures later, I'm still here trying to teach what I've learned, but I'm still surrounding myself around other people so that I can get to the next level. If you're on the back line, please mute yourself out. It's
20.
I'm about to take off speaker. And so yeah, right. So my ADD just kicked in. And so imagine it like this, because I'm more of a visual learner. That's how I learn, right? That's probably why I dropped out of college, because it was a lot of just facts. I like to tell stories. So imagine this. What is this? I know y'all don't know. It's a cafeteria line. And what do we know about here? It's the front of the line. Let's just call this, if we have to put a number to financial freedom, because I realize it's, you know, this person's definition of financial freedom may be 100,000, while as this person's definition of financial freedom may be an extra $2,000 a month, right? So for this scenario, I'm going to say that $200,000, the $200,000 ring, which signifies in total life changes that you've made $200,000, right? And so this is the front of the line, boom. This is the back of the line. What do we know about both here and here? Well, we know that the people here not only got in line, but they stayed in line. So what ends up happening, the majority of the time, some of us join Total Life Change. If I stand here, can you see me?
Yes, you can. No, not in the live.
No? Okay. Well,
right
listen,
there.
Most people join Total Life Changes, and they start here, right? And what ends up happening is, as they're waiting in line, what should be happening is feel, change, learn, work. While you're in line, that's what you should be doing, right? Kind of like the equivalent of you being in line right now. What are you doing? You're typically on your phone. Well, in this line, the line of success at the cafeteria, you are going to be practicing the Wheel of Fortune. But what happens is people immediately get into Total Life Changes and they start looking at who's at the front of the line. They start looking at Natalie saying, oh my gosh, she made $50,000. They start looking at, you know, Boss Lady Meets. They start looking at Bianca. They start looking at Coach Stormy. They start looking at me and comparing their chapter 1 to our chapter 5, 10, right? So you have to stay in your lane. That's another part of success. Don't look left, don't look right. Stay in your lane. So what ends up happening is the people that get started, they get impatient. They get impatient. They start looking around to their left, looking around to their right. Then they start hating. That person shouldn't do this, person shouldn't do that. So what happens when you get impatient? You get out of line. And so what happens is this person decides to get out of line and they go join another company. They go join another profession, right? They go from selling tea to selling Forex to selling real estate to selling, they just go. But everywhere you go, you're gonna take you with you. The problem, the issue, the reason why you're not where you want to be has nothing to do with the product, but it has to do with the process. And if you fail to learn the lesson, you must retake the test. And what people do is this. They say, okay, I'm leaving. And it's okay, because this line keeps going. And they realize that everywhere they went, they took them with them. There was no elevator to success, so they come back. And what happens is, when they come back, they don't get to come back and be in the spot that they left. No, what happens when you get out of line and you come back? They say, okay, you can come back, but go to the back of the line. So now you start seeing people that you had started with 2 years ago, but now guess where they are? They're right here. And although they're not here, but guess what? Now they're making $100,000 a year. You come back and say, oh my God, I was in front of this person. I was in front of Natalie Nicole. I was in front of LaQuelle. And LaQuelle's doing $25,000 a month now. I was in front of her, but it don't matter. It don't matter, because guess where you get to go? Here. That's why we say you stick and stay and you'll get your pay. Period. Just imagine the universe is in the business of giving. But if you're not there, you're not there. Today is your year, your year, your year, your year. That's what happens. Doesn't matter your skin color, doesn't matter your weight size, doesn't matter your religion, your sexual preference. Those are all internal things that we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better about not giving our best, about not sticking to the plan. Oh, I left because the tea tastes different. Oh, I left because my sponsor, didn't answer my call, didn't do a three-way for me. You don't never quit TLC. You don't quit your upline. The only person that's affected by you giving up is you. Only person. So what ends up happening? If you decide to stay in line, guess what happens? Some people fall off. It's great. Because when they fall off, you continue to go. You continue to go and progress through the line. So what if it took you 2 years, 5 years, 10 years to get to your definition of financial freedom? What does it matter? What does it matter? What I realize is that at the counter of success, you will pay full price. There is no shortcuts. Imagine going up to a vending machine and imagine there being a bag of chips. And it says, these bag of chips are, $1. And you deposit 99 cents. What is it gonna happen? What's gonna happen? The machine is gonna say, please deposit more change. Even if you're excited, you're like, oh, I'm almost there. I'm only a penny shy. I'm only a penny shy. I'm only 2 people away. Just let me have it. The machine doesn't care. It's gonna say deposit more change, or you can just start over. Push this button, we'll give you your money back, and you can start over. That's the same way success works. It doesn't care about you almost doing anything. It doesn't care about your excitement behind wanting that bag of chips or wanting $200,000. You will pay full price. You want the bag of chips, pay the $400. You want success, stick to the plan. Exercise feeling, exercise change, exercise learning, exercise working. Period. You want to get in shape, get up every day. Do what you need to do to get in shape. It's really just that simple. And so when Coach asked me to go over these things, it was a little unorthodox. I really have these type of conversations with my one-on-one students, but I realized that, these are the type of conversations that if we plan on growing, everyone that's watching this, I'm assuming 99.9% of all of us are in TLC. So I can have this type of conversation with you guys as if every single person joined me directly. Because at the very end of the day, the better one person does is the better we all do, right? When the tide rises, if there's 10 boats in the water, the tide does not pick which boat to lift up. When momentum happens, it affects everybody. And so I was talking to LaQuelle earlier, and we realized that there may be some confusion. I don't care if you join Boss Lady Meek, if you join Natalie, if you join Stormy, if you join Bianca, it doesn't matter. Whoever you join, we all need to be supporting each other. Period. I don't want to hear another message of someone saying, oh, this person didn't want to help me because I'm not on their team. What are you talking about? If we're going to get to a $1 billion company, everybody needs to be serving. Everybody needs to be serving, because when the tide rises, when the tide rises, everybody's business will be impacted. But if we have a bunch of people getting out of line because they couldn't get the information, my mentor once told me that most people only quit this industry because 1 or 2 of their questions weren't answered. So when you look back at a person that quit your business, you think it has something to do with TLC? Nope. It's mostly their decision. But most people quit in life because something didn't click for them. They didn't understand something. They didn't understand their back office. Am I good?
I just ended it. You're at 30 minutes though.
Somebody called me?
I ended it.
Yeah. So that's it. I'm just having a conversation with y'all. Y'all know how I do my trainings. So I don't want to hear any more about that. You're not on my team. Who team you on? Only reason I was asking people whose team they were on when they were calling me about this event because I was just wanting to make sure they were in Total Life Changes. Some people are groupies and just want to meet coach, right? So I was making sure you was in the business. But for the most part, if I can help, I don't even care who you joined because I understand what happens when momentum takes place. And so getting back to this, stay in line, people. Stay in line. And while you're in line, make sure you're practicing, feel, change, learn, work. Because I promise you, as I look back over my life, and I'm over, doesn't even matter, multiple 7 figures earned, less than 20% of it was the work. Less than 20% of it was the work. What am I saying with that? Well, a lot of times we think that it's more of what we need to do. If I just got to do more calls. I got to give out more samples. But we're not dealing with what's happening. Success is an inside job. Success is an inside job. Success has very little to do with what you do on the outside. Success is who you are when the lights are off, the doors are closed. What are you doing? So work on yourself. Find ways to make yourself better. Find ways to serve the team. Universal law is real. So, with that being said, I hope every single person got something out of this training. I designed this training again just so that that new person that comes in doesn't get too caught up on this. We hear about these stories all day, every day. She came in and did 150. He came in and did this much. This person made $2 million. No one gives a shit. Doesn't matter. They can't use that success story to pay their bills. I want all you guys, you've been in this business less than 6 months. Remember this. Forget about this. I didn't want you checking for results. What are you checking for results for? You know why I don't want you checking for results? Because when the activity is right, the results gotta follow. I don't even check my back office. For what? I don't check my back office to see production, right? I know within a few dollars what my check will be based on my activity. I know that next week will probably be my biggest week in Total Life Changes in the past 2 years because, somebody's calling me?
No, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm reading the comments and a lot of people are touching bases on the sponsor thing and reaching out. So maybe you should just touch bases a little bit. Once you become an upline, your obligation to what you're supposed to provide and the knowledge you're supposed to gain as an upline to other people, so yours don't have to reach out. So
here's the thing. Every single person is watching, well, not everybody, but most people are watching from the 1,000 Families page. If you don't understand that for whatever reason, understand. Click the link in the bio of 1,000 Families. Ladies and gentlemen, everything that you need to kickstart your business is on the 1,000 Families page. Click the link. So if no one's told you that since you joined, I'll be the first to tell you. Everything that you need is in the link. What time our calls are, what time the trainings are, how to work the back office. I don't want you to give up on yourself because you feel like you didn't have the information you needed to go to the next level. I mean, we have how to set up a link tree. We have how to go binary, how to make sure you set up your smart ship. Every single video that you need is there. And lastly, if you don't know who you join, you can always call corporate. You can always call corporate and say, hey, listen, who's my upline regional? Who's my upline national? My upline global? Right? You have to take accountability for yourself. No one's going to come and save you. Just because you join, that's not enough. It is not your upline's responsibility to run your business for you. They're there to help you and to serve you, right? But you have to understand that at the very end of the day, at its core, we are all independent distributors for Total Life Changes. From Stormy all the way down. From Twyla all the way down. From Greg and Lanika all the way down. From Denise Lee all the way down. We're here, you're in business for yourself. Not by yourself, but for yourself. So you have to take initiative. This is not a hobby. You treat it like a hobby, it's gonna pay you like a hobby. Hobbies don't pay much, right? If you build your business casually, your business will be a casualty. I should do a whole mixtape. I got a whole bunch of statements. What else they saying on there? Because I got a couple, I got time today.
Just reading them, they're just saying like, thank you for the training. They really needed this training.
Give me some questions. That's what's up. Give me some questions.
So you guys say some questions. I'll read them off.
If there are questions.
Oh, it's one of the questions that a lot of people are asking is, what if your direct upline left the business? What if they were the people that hopped out of line and they don't know who directly to go to?
I answered that. If they don't know exactly who to go to, call corporate.
Okay.
Who's my upline regional? Who's my upline national? Who's my upline? You'll get it. Corporate has it. They know everything. What else we got?
You pretty much answered them throughout your live. You've been
Right. So I'm excited. I really am excited to be back, to be working, to be serving. And I just want every single person on this live to really apply what I'm telling you. You're going to get different leaders that come on and tell you how to sell the pack of tea, which is important. We're going to teach you how to go director and how to go national. But what I want to focus on is this, what happens here. Because this is what's going to get you to national. This is all ambassador is a bunch of directors.
Now they're going into a lot of questions. How break down the pay, the comp. Nope,
not doing that. Nope. I ain't going left leg, right leg. That ain't the, listen, 90% of how, you're only asking me the breakdown of this and that because you're trying to get here. Everything that you need to know, I promise you. And tonight, we'll go over that. We're going to go live again. As you guys know, we're here at the corporate office in California. After the opportunity meeting, I'll make sure I tell Coach to go over the whole thing. We did it Saturday. But I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, what I'm giving you is not success principles for TLC. I'm showing you, I just told you, I made over close to $4 million, and less than 20% of that had to do with the work. I made $30,000 before I knew how to go regional. Are you guys hearing me? Meek, Boss Lady Meek came in and didn't even understand what it meant to be executive director. And you guys are asking, I get those questions will need to be addressed, but hear what I'm saying from a spiritual level. Hear what I'm saying from a whole different vibration. It has very little to do with the how-tos. The how-tos do not matter, trust me. Anyone that tells you that they made millions of dollars because they got up every day and they just worked their ass off is full of it. There's other principles that need to be applied. Yes, you will have to get up and you have to work. But if you're getting up and you're working and you're not exercising this, you're going nowhere fast. In order to build wealth, these are making sure you feel good, making sure your willingness to change and evolve with the times, right? Let's give an example of someone that was not willing to change and evolve with the time. You look at Blockbuster. Blockbuster was $1 billion company, corporation on every single corner. It was a lifestyle. You go into Blockbusters to buy the movies, and professionals were saying there's no way we could ever live without Blockbuster because people are not just buying the movies, they're buying the experience. And then 15 years later, we have Netflix, and we realize, oh shit, people don't care about that. People just want immediate gratification. So I say all that to say, when you fail to change and evolve, that can happen. Willingness to learn. We're gonna touch on that. This specific training was not designed for me to go into the intricate pieces of each little thing about the compensation plan. You have a person that almost made $250,000, and I wouldn't dare ask her to get in front of the room and break down the compensation plan because I know she doesn't know. I made $30,000 before I fully understood the compensation plan, ladies and gentlemen. What I understood is feel, change, learn, work. Anyways, give me one more question and then I'm gonna end it. Something that's not in the link tree. It has nothing to do with how many points.
Some of these questions I just gotta skip over. I would say just emphasize too, are they saying a lot of the information in the trainings, turn on the post notifications of our leaders that are doing good, because how you're touching bases on this. The other day on Saturday, Stormy was live when she was going down the breakdown of the leg. So if you turn on your post notifications of the people who are doing it right, sometimes on a good day, they touch bases on them. So just continue to tap into like the different people's lives. Because they're feeding information, but you gotta use this network.
Anybody that you see being promoted on a weekly basis, you need to be following, right? You need to be following Boss Lady Meek. You need to be following Natalie. You need to be following Bianca. You need to be following LaQuelle. You need to be following Anna Contreras.
What is a good book unrelated to TLC that you're reading just for?
Right, it doesn't matter what I'm reading. What I want, because remember, I'm talking to 6 months and over. 6 months and under. If you already been in TLC, and some people may need to restart, right? Because some people, but my book, what I would read, let's just call it the last 12 months, right? My first year in network marketing, the first book that really impacted me, and I'm actually probably going to start reading this book again, is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Because people don't join TLC, they join you. People buy people. So you need to be able, you're in the people's business, hello, network marketing. So if you don't know how to deal with people, you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to win friends. Some of you guys aren't even on social media. Why is that? How are you not on social media? How?
Or having private pages.
Yeah, or your page being private. Why are you in a secret business? Why is your page, what are you doing in your life where you need it to be private? Don't post it, period, if it needs to be private. But if you're in business and you're building total life changes, or you're building any business, unblock your page. That's a whole training in itself. If you don't take nothing else from this training, unblock your page. Huh?
Clean your content. Remember how you went through and just said, hey, a couple of these might need to come down.
Yeah, and then cleaning your content.
People prejudge if they want to join you.
Where am I at on time? Because I don't want to
You're 43 minutes.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up in 3 minutes. The next is making sure your content on your page. Listen, your page should always be inspiring, educating, and educating. That's really all that the page is. You can throw a little lifestyle in there, but you got some people that's posting, pictures of their dog food, the dog using the bathroom outside. I seen another picture of someone posted their cup. Then it wasn't even TLC coffee. Like they posted, you have to understand that social media, when you look at major billion-dollar corporations, how they're moving their marketing budgets to advertisements online and social media influencers, that is a sign that social media is no longer just to be social, just to be having fun, it's not a diary. Be more protective over your content, because understand, if you're in business, the only way a person's gonna know anything about you is to go to your page. And if the first thing I see on your page is some meme that's unrelated and is tacky, I'm not gonna join you in business. I don't believe that you can take me where I wanna be. And you wonder why you're doing all of this promoting and no one's joining you. Because you just look very lost on your page. And another thing, do not post another picture with just products without your face in it. I'm telling y'all right now, it does not work. If I go to your page and your last 5 posts is just a picture of the resolution drop, that's nice. We know what the box look like, but I want you to tell me what these products are gonna do for me. You can post maybe one picture of the product, maybe a nice setup of it, but that's it. Otherwise, it becomes spammy. And people are like, what the heck are you talking about? I had a young lady that joined my business, and she's like, I'll do it my way. She had her own little thing figured out. She got a community of people. And I said, okay, cool, right? Because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. She wasn't ready, so I let her do her own thing. And I go to her social media, and it's almost like she's just constantly TLC, 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 TLC. People are like, I'm not joining you. And that's why she's brought maybe 1 or 2 people into the business. So you have to incorporate this and make this a lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen. With social media, people want to feel like they're buying into an experience, right? A lifestyle. They want to feel like they're connected to you. They don't want to feel like they're just buying a product. They can go to Walmart to just buy a product, right? They want you to communicate to them why our products are the number 1 products in this industry. You know, don't talk about NutriBurst. Talk about how NutriBurst makes you feel. Don't talk about the tea. You know how many teas are online? There's a lot of teas online. Don't just talk about the tea. Talk about this tea being infused with CBD. Talk about how you are taking this product, and within 24 to 48 hours, right? You're experiencing an experience, right? I want to get too graphic, right? Talk about how it's not leaving you all cramped up in the stomach like some of these other teas out there, right? Talk about the experience, ladies and gentlemen. One more question, I'm gonna end it. All right, ready for the meeting.
They're just saying that they're very thankful for it, well needed. All of your live tuners haven't tuned out. They ain't got out of line, so they've been staying in.
Stay in line, that's it.
We ain't been dropping numbers, either consistent or growing. So.
Well, I love each and every one of you guys. Feel free to follow the 1000 Families page if you have any questions. Find out where your local meetings are. It's Southern California. One second, Southern California. A lot of you guys may not know. I just talked to our VP, Bolo. This office is open. It operates just like the office in Michigan. So I told him I would talk about this because it's so important. We had, 400 people, plus people at the convention a couple weeks ago. You guys can use this as your corporate office, right? We have meeting space. We got satellite offices upstairs, right? We sell product here. So if you have a Southern California team, guess what? You should be plugging into this office. Not only that, when you purchase product from the Michigan office, it may take 3 to 5 days to arrive if you're on the West Coast. But me being on the West Coast, if I purchase some product right now from this corporate office, I give them a call, I'll be able to have it overnight. I'll get the product the next day. So some of you guys are hustling backwards, basically. You're ordering your product from Michigan, which is fine. I'm not saying don't do that, but what I'm simply saying is I got confirmation today from Bolo that anything you can do from the corporate office in Michigan, you can do from the office out here. So if you're in Southern California, if you're in any part of California, if you are on the West Coast at all, call the corporate office here. I don't have the number. I probably should have it. But yeah. And then start, we're going to be having weekly meetings take place here in Southern California. Plug your team in here. I know Natalie and LaQuelle are out in Barbados right now. This is the time to build the momentum, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this is 2014 times 10. We have CBD infused products going into early next year. We have a whole new line of different things that are going to be released. It's just so many things that are happening, but the people that are in line right now are going to be the ones at National Convention walking across the stage getting $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 rings. But it starts now with your willingness to feel better, your willingness to change, your willingness to learn, and your willingness to work. Peace, love, good vibe tribe. Tonight, 7:30, we have a meeting taking place here in Monterey, California. If you're here, tune in. Coach will be here in about 30 minutes. I love y'all. Peace.